This is almost embarrassing. I mean, I'm doing it, but it's almost embarrassing. Hey guys, it's Sarah. I have a really big book haul. I have 27 books. Decent stack from publishers, decent stack from gifts, and then 2 decent stacks that I bought myself. Look, I was feeling some feelings this month, okay? It's fine. All right, we're just getting into it because I have a lot to go over today. So we're going to start with books that were sent to me from publishers. This first one comes out in August, and it was sent to me from Harper. This is called Sun Damage, and this is by Sabine Durant. So this follows a group of people who have rented out this home in Provence, and they're taking a vacation together, and they hired a staff to be there to kind of, do the things for them so they could actually relax. And one of the people there ends up not being what she seemed when she applied for the job and was hired. So there's going to be some secrets coming out, some stuff happening. I think it's like an isolated type thing. Sounds really good. Okay, so this book was sent to me by Tor, and they had sent out a newsletter for upcoming releases. And from there, you can request. So as a reviewer, I get that email. And I saw that this book was going to be coming out in paperback. And so I reached out and asked if they were sending out review copies for the paperback because I would love to read it. It's something I've been really interested in. And so they contacted me back and they said, "You want a hardcover? We'll send you one right now." I was like, yeah, I do. Yes, please. And thank you. So I don't have to wait for the paperback. So I have one now, and that is The Terraformers. And this is by Anna Lee Newitz. This is an adult sci-fi that every time I see this cover at the store, it stops me in my tracks every time. Okay, so this one follows a group of people that are called terraformers. And what they do is they are preparing the climate or preparing the environment for the climate that's happening, and just to kind of keep the planet healthy, try to reverse past damages, stuff like that. So our main character is a terraformer, and that's her job. It's been in her family for a long time, so that's what she's doing. And everything's going well until she discovers a group of people who are living in abandoned. They're living in a volcano, and they're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to even exist. And their presence there kind of turns everything upside down. So, but seriously, this is it's so beautiful every time I see it. And I'm so grateful to Tor for sending me a hard copy cover of it. Okay, this next one actually just came out, and that is called The Warden, and this is by Daniel M. Ford. This was another one sent to me by Tor, and this is an adult sci-fi again, and this one is following a girl who goes to this academy, and she's doing all this training, and she kind of has an idea for what she wants her life to be. She wants to be chosen to work in one of the big cities and, do this and land this and have all this stuff. However, as fate turns out, she gets assigned to a small village in the middle of nowhere. And she's just kind of doing her thing, biding her time, wondering why she's there. The villagers don't really like her all that much and don't really let her in. So she's struggling a little bit. But then come to find out, this town ends up needing her more than they realize, or more than she realizes, because something happens in the forest and she becomes the protector of this village. So it sounds really good. This next one comes out in July, and this was sent to me from Flatiron Books, and that is Cutting Teeth, and this is by Chandler Baker. I have not read anything by Chandler Baker yet, but I'm definitely intrigued to give some of her writing a try, and this will be her newest one. So this one follows a group of mothers who are dealing with all the motherhood stuff and trying to come to terms with some things and changes and, just normal everyday life things. But some sort of unexplained sickness starts going through the school that their kids attend. And I mean, these are 4-year-old children, so they're very young, just in school. But the kids start craving blood. And then one day, one of the teachers ends up dead. And the suspects are 10 4-year-olds. So, yeah, that's different. That's interesting. I'm very interested in this. I want to see where this goes and what this is all about. So excited for this one. Okay, this next one comes out also in July, and this was sent to me from Harper. And this one is Her Too. This is by Bonnie Kistler. I have read both of Bonnie Kistler's previous books, and I did really enjoy them. They were both 4-star reads for me, so I'm definitely interested in reading this one as well. This one follows a woman who is a defense attorney, and she's really made a name for herself by defending men who are accused of sexual misconduct or sexual related crimes. And that's how she's built her career. And she's very popular because of it. And, just that's who she's known as until one day she becomes the victim of something like that. And then she is really thrust into, going against everything that she has stood up for publicly and, what the struggle is there. So I think this will be very interesting. And Bonnie Kistler herself is a lawyer. So, yeah. This next one comes out in July. This was sent to me from Starscape, and that is Kelsey Murphy and The Hunt for the Heart of Danu by Erica Lewis. This is book number 2 in the Kelsey Murphy series. I read the first one last year when it came out, and I really, really enjoyed it. It is a middle grade fantasy series, and I'm excited to have my hands on book number 2. So I will definitely be picking this one up, but I don't want to say too much about the synopsis. I'm not even really looking at it because I did read the first one, really enjoyed it. So I just kind of want to go into this one without a whole lot of research into it, but there's a whole bunch of creatures on the cover here. So we'll see how this goes. But if you like middle grade fantasy and you want to check out another really good, solid series, I would definitely recommend this series. And this is book number 2 coming out in July. Okay, this next one comes out on May 2nd, and this is also sent to me from Harper, and that is Love Buzz. And this is by Neely Tabati Alexander. And I love this cover, you guys. It's so beautiful. So this is following our main character who is attending this bachelorette party in New Orleans, and she's not really having a good time. There's a whole lot of stuff happening. She's not enjoying herself until she has a very good conversation with a very handsome man in a bar and find out they are both from the same city. They're from Seattle. So they get to know each other a little bit, but not a ton of detail. She doesn't even know his last name, but she can't get him out of her head at all. So upon going back to Seattle, I think she's going to start going on a mission to try to find him. So we'll see how that goes. But it's a nice little short, could be a really fun summer read. All right, and the last one that was sent to me from publishers, another one from Harper. This one comes out in June, and that is The Gulf. And this is by Rachel Cochran. This is a literary thriller book, and this is set on the coast in Texas, and it's set in the 1970s. And we are following a small town and a woman who is going back to try to find some solace and kind of peace living there. This is set during the time of the Vietnam War, and she is mourning the death of her brother who was killed in the war. And she's just trying to go back, just to kind of find herself a little bit and to find some peace until somebody in that town is murdered, someone that she was very close with. And then that woman's daughter, the woman who was murdered, her daughter comes back into town to try to figure out what's going on. And this is also a woman who was her first love. And so it brings up a lot of complications and all that stuff. So sounds good. Literary thriller, nice and short. I'm excited. So that was a decent amount of books sent to me from publishers, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about some books that were gifted to me. Because you guys. So I had the opportunity to meet up with Candace, who is a friend of mine. We have been talking for a couple of years now. Oh gosh, I don't even know when we started talking, but it's been a while. And she was coming through town. I think I talked about this in my Q&A. And I had lunch with her and her husband. Josh and I did, and she brought me a couple of books. I knew she was bringing me one, and then she surprised me with another one. So this is from Candace. So she gave me The Minuscule Mansion of Myra Malone by Audrey Burgess, which sounds really, really cute. So this is the one that follows a woman who has kind of made a name for herself by building miniature houses. And then someone who follows her starts noticing that she his childhood bedroom, like to the T. And so like, what in the world is going on? How does she know about this? All that kind of stuff. Now, Candace put a note in the front of this that says, this book reminded me of Addie LaRue. And I was like, oh, okay. Yes, please. Because Addie LaRue is one of my favorite books. So that has me definitely intrigued. Okay. And then the other one that she gave me, which she asked if I wanted it, I was like, sure. So this is an arc that she got, and this one is already released, but this is, I do not know how to say this name. Clytemnestra, by Costanza Casati. Now, this is like another mythology character retelling, which is very popular right now. A lot of this kind of stuff is happening. So I don't know anything about this person in mythology at all, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. But it says Huntress, Warrior, Mother, Murderess, Queen. And I'm in. So I guess we'll see. I'm just going to kind of go into this and take it for what it is when I do pick it up. But Candace, thank you so much for both of these books. You know how much I appreciate you. Okay, and then we're going to move on to Melinda, because Melinda sent me a box of books, and I was only expecting 2 of these, I think, maybe, and she sent me 5. So she's ridiculous. Love her to death. Melinda, my gosh. I always yell at her for spoiling me. Okay, so the first one that she sent is called Chilling Effect. This is by Valerie Valdez. You guys, look at that. So this is obviously a science fiction book. There's cats in space. So the tagline on here says, kidnappers, alien emperors, psychic cats, and she's out of coffee. That does not sound like a good time. Let's see. Okay, so in this one, we are following our main character. Her name is Eva, and she makes her living by delivering cargo around the universe. Possibly the universe? Yeah, around the universe. So she doesn't make a lot of money doing that, but she makes enough to get by. So one day her sister gets kidnapped and is held for ransom. And so because of that, she starts taking on larger, more dangerous jobs that will pay her more money in order to pay the ransom. So she starts doing that. And then when she realizes exactly where her sister is and what's going on and what it's going to take to get her out, a whole bunch of things start happening. So it just sounds like it's going to be a good time. It's kind of pitched as a space opera. So I'm in. Okay, so the second one that she sent is one that she recently read and really liked, and she found an arc of this and sent it my way. And that is Spoiler Alert. This is by Olivia Dade. I have heard of this book and this series. It's like a companion series, and this is the first one that it starts out with. So we are following Marcus and April, these two on the cover here. So Marcus is an actor. He is starring in one of the most popular television shows. It's kind of like a Game of Thrones-y type of show. So he's very popular. All the stuff. Now, he has frustrations with his character and where his character is going, and he takes those frustrations out by anonymously posting fan fiction for the show and taking his character in different directions where he thinks his character should go and posting that anonymously. So no one knows that he's the one doing it. And then she is a huge fan of the show, but she's a big fan of his love interest, I think, in the show. And so she writes her own fan fiction and kind of does her own stuff. And she becomes public about like, this is who she is. And then something happens virally, I think, and they end up going on a date together. So a lot of things start happening from there, but it sounds like a really good time, and Melinda loved it and said it would be a really good slump buster. So that could be fun. So I have to keep this in mind next time I start going through a slump. But yeah, so I'm excited to read it at some point. Okay, so this next one is one that Melinda sent me a picture and said, do you want any of these? And I said, I want that one. So that is the Sorority Murder. This is by Allison Brennan. And this is a thriller book that follows a girl who leaves a sorority party and is never gets home. She disappears. Her body is found 2 weeks later, but the case has gone cold. They couldn't figure out who did it, and it's just kind of there. So somebody else on campus decides that they want to look more into this, and they end up finding a really good piece of information, but the police are not interested. So they start a podcast to try to kind of follow her last few hours to like basically see if they can solve it through a podcast. So sounds fun, interesting. I was in a sorority. Could give me those vibes. Okay, and this is another one that I said, yes, please, Melinda. And that is Artemis by Andy Weir. This is the one Andy Weir I have not read yet, and I really want to. And I did not have a physical copy of it. So I was like, yes, please, if you found it really cheap, which he did. So I don't know the full premise of this. I know that it follows a female character, which will be interesting, I think. And we'll see where it goes, but it's going to be set in space. I think it's to the moon. I think the moon is like the big thing in this one versus The Martian, which was Mars, and Project Hail Mary was just like deep space. But this one is the moon, I believe. So definitely excited to read this one. Okay, and then this last one that came from Melinda is another one that she said, are you interested in this? I was like, yes. So she sent me Hour of the Witch by Chris. I don't know if it's Bojalian or Bohalian. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name. But this is an author that I have a few of his books now. I think I might have 3, and I need to read something to see if I'm going to like his books, but I definitely want to. So this one is set in the 1600s in Boston. And it's following a woman named Mary who has come over from England, and she's making a new life for herself. She ends up getting married to this man who is extremely abusive to her. So she feels that she needs to escape him in order to survive. I think there's going to be maybe some I don't know if it's going to be witchcraft or accusations of witchcraft, maybe, possibly, because Boston, this time period, all that fun stuff. So yeah, sounds really good. So huge thanks to Melinda and Candace for these books. You guys are too good to me. All right, now we got to talk about books I bought myself. You guys. Oy. Okay, so this is a book that I keep picking up at work. Every time I pass the table where this book is, I stop and I look at it and I pick it up and I want to read it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just this cover. Like, I just want to read it. This is a young adult novel, and it's called The Stranded. This is by Sarah Daniels. And I don't know what it is about this, but I didn't get it from work. I ended up getting it from Amazon because I was looking through some stuff on Amazon, and I noticed that this went down to half price. And I was like, I have to. And I had a gift card, so I didn't pay for it. And it was half price. Like I couldn't not. Okay, so this book is about this ship that's called the Arcadia. And it used to be a luxurious cruise ship, but now it's home to the Stranded. That's what they're called. And it says, for 40 years, they have lived and died on the water. No one is allowed to disembark ever. Why? Why are they living on this cruise ship? So we follow Esther, who is 16, and she is working hard for a chance to live a life on land as a medic, which is very rare for something like that to happen, but she's working hard to try to get that position. But she ends up saving someone named Nick, who is a rebel intent on liberating the Arcadia. So she saves his life, and that's not a popular choice because he is trying to, make it so that this is not a thing anymore. So I don't know. And I think they team up. I don't know what it is, guys. I'm just so intrigued by this. Like, I want to read it so bad. Half price. I bought it. And then these next 4 I ended up getting on Pango. So I found Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I found this for like $3. It is a perfect condition hardcover. I don't know why whoever sold it was selling it for that cheap, but I was like, yes, please. I want to read this so bad. And I could not pass up that price. Like, are you serious right now? I kept double checking. I was like, what's the catch? There's got to be a catch. Something has to be wrong with it. No, it's perfect. So whatever, I'm going to take advantage of it. So this is a time loop type of book. So we have a mother and her son. Her son commits murder. Don't know what, don't know how, don't know why. we'll find out. The mother realizes this and then ends up in some sort of time loop or some way that she can turn back time. And now she's going to try to do that in order to prevent her son from committing this murder so it can completely change their lives. I don't know how many times she's going to have to do it. I don't know how she figures it out. I don't know if it's purposeful or accident. I have no idea. I've heard amazing things and I'm excited to have it. And then I decided, I don't know why I did this. I decided one day, I need to read J.T. Ellison. I need to read all of J.T. Ellison's books. I don't know what it was that had me in that mood. I'm going to blame Audrey because she had read a book by J.T. Ellison and she loved it. And I was like, I need to read all of J.T. Ellison's books. I have one of J.T. Ellison's books on my shelves already. Have I read it? Mm-mm. Did I buy 3 more of hers? Mm-hmm. I've not read her yet. I don't know if I'm going to like her as an author yet. I hope so, because I bought 3 of her books on Pango. I got Lied to Me. I'm not even going to go into synopsises. I'm just going to I'm going to pick these up blind, but I got Lied to Me. I got Her Dark Lies. So another lie. Word lie. This is the one that Audrey read and loved. And Good Girls Lie. All lies. I didn't even realize that. Lindsay read this one and really liked it a lot. So Lindsay was a good influence on this one too. But lie, lies, lie, all the lies, all the J.T. Ellison is just going to lie to me this whole time. It's fine, guys. Okay. And now the rest of my haul are all books I got at work. Look at this stack. You guys, I bought all of these at work this month. What am I doing? Look, I was going through it. I'm telling you, I had feelings this month. Okay, I will say 4 of these were books that were released in April and they were anticipated. I wanted them right away and I bought them right away. So that's part of it, but 3 of these are not that. So let's start with those. Okay, this one is actually kind of funny. This is on my most anticipated releases. It came out in February, I think, and I was closing one night and we were going over how much we had made that day, and we were just under our goal, within $20 or something. And so me and someone else bought a book to make it so that we reached our goal. Another girl bought something and she was like, someone else buy something. I was like, I'll buy something. And I got Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Why not? I know I want to read it. Why not? So this is, again, on my most anticipated list for this year. This follows a wedding in Napa, I believe. And we are following a girl who's coming back to be in somebody's wedding and has a run-in with the son of the owner of the winery that they are at. And it's like a childhood crush type thing. And I think some secret letters start happening between the two. Yeah, I've heard it's adorable and I definitely want to read it. So I was helping the store. Okay, so this next one was kind of on my radar, and then we ended up having an author signing for this book in our store. So the author came in and was signing books, and so I grabbed it. But that is The Partner Track. This is by Helen Wan. This has actually been made into a Netflix series, which is really awesome as well. So we are following a woman named Ingrid. She is a Chinese American. She's the first lawyer in her family, and she is about to become the first minority woman to make partner at her partner's law firm in New York. And she, something happens at a work function event type thing, and that forces the law firm to start, I want to get the wording right here, to start a initiative about diversity and inclusion. And they want her to spearhead it. And she's like, why me type thing. So she's trying to decide if she's going to take this on, because if she gets it wrong, it could affect whether or not she makes partner and all that kind of stuff. And then there is also a boyfriend involved in here as well. But I did get my book signed because I bought it and then brought it with me when she was there signing it. So I got it signed and she was very nice. I got to have a little chat with her. She was very sweet. And she is a local author. So that's really awesome. Yeah. Okay. So this next one was not on my radar until I saw it at work. And I don't know what it is. I'm becoming attracted to the covers so much to the point where I'm like, I need this book. And I bought it. Guys, and also it's a sci-fi. It's the first book in a series. And then I did see it on someone else's channel as well. And I was just like, yeah, I really want to read that. And then I ended up buying it. Paradise 1. This is by David Wellington. This is like a space horror from what I'm understanding, a sci-fi horror. It's deep space. Paradise 1 is Earth's first deep space colony. And it ends up going dark. So there's like thousands of people in this area, wherever it is, and then it goes dark. So there's been no communications. And then this Firewatch inspector is what she's called. And her crew are called to investigate and figure out what's happening. Why can't we communicate with them? Why did they go dark? All that stuff. And then it says what they find is more horrifying than anything they could have imagined. I know, and it's huge. And I can't even explain myself. I kept walking by it and I wanted it. And I have it. Okay, so the rest of these came out in April as well. So Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. I was very interested when I saw this one. I didn't know this was coming out for a while. Like I had heard about it just a little bit before this came out. And I was like, wait a second, where did this come from? I did not know this was happening. I loved her book Lore, which was like a Greek mythology gods kind of retelling, but it was like the Hunger Games. I kind of compare it to that. And I loved it. I loved that book. This one is Arthurian. And I'm so interested in it. So it's set in today's world, but there are Arthurian themes in here. Yeah, so I'm not going to go too far into it. Again, I just don't want to do that too much anymore. But I got the exclusive edition for Barnes & Noble. Look at these end papers. They are gorgeous. And there is a letter to the readers in here as well, which is not in the regular book. So I thought that was kind of cool, like a little letter from the author. A beautiful map. I don't know if that's in the regular edition or not. But yeah, totally just... As soon as this went on sale, I bought it. I heard about it, and then a couple weeks later we got it, and I said, okay, I'm getting that. So I'm definitely excited to read more kind of in this type of writing situation that Alexandra Bracken has gotten into, because I have read from her before and I didn't love it, but I loved Lore, and then I'm hoping to love this one as well. Okay, next one on my most anticipated list, For You and Only You by Caroline Kepnes. This is book number 4 in the Joe Goldberg series. First one being You, one of my favorite books of all time. I love that book so much. I love the whole series. I really do. And so I'm excited for this next installment and to see where Joe is and what he's doing. I believe Audrey is reading this right now, and she said that he's in Boston. And she's loving that because she used to live in Boston. So definitely excited. Don't want to look too much into it at all because I love her writing. I have loved all the books. I'm excited to keep on going. This is kind of a thing where a lot of people loved You, but not everybody loved the sequels. I've loved all of it. I think it's all great. So I'm anticipating I'm really going to like this one too. Okay. Oh, 2 more, guys. All right. In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. It just came out. I bought it on release day. So excited. I am just over the moon about this one. So this one it's an exclusive edition again. So it has one of the characters embossed in green foil on the cover. How cute. Beautiful. And then the end papers in here are also gorgeous. Just very, very beautiful. Okay, so this is a Pinocchio retelling, and I am just excited to dive into it. Again, not going into super big synopsises anymore, but yeah, so very excited. I love his writing. Can't wait to read it. Last, and definitely not least, another anticipated release that I had to get my hands on, Happy Place by Emily Henry. So I ended up getting the signed edition, which of course I had to. We only got 5, and I think 4 of the 5 went to employees because we all snatched it up. It's a perk, right? So this is her newest release. I'm so excited to read this one, and I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. So that's all I need. I'm gonna love it. I'm done. Okay. You guys, I don't know. I'm thinking about some things as far as book hauls go. I'm thinking about some things through. I may make a video about it when I kind of have my thoughts all together and I kind of make some decisions. This was a big month. So once I kind of figure out what I'm going to do, I'll let you know. But maybe in the next month or so, I'm probably going to have some sort of discussion about my book hauls moving forward and what's going to be going on. I'm still kind of trying to work out my thoughts because I want them to be realistic and cohesive. And right now it's all just So, all right. Let me know your thoughts, or don't, either one. But I'm very excited about all of these books. I really just am. So, okay, I'm going to go because I have some reading to do. But let me know down below if you guys have purchased any of these. Let me know if you've read any of these. I would love to know that. And I will see you again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.